Good day, and welcome to Far Reaches. We are four people from similar parts of the world who have wound up chasing different dreams and living different lives. We are Richard, Raleigh, Joel, and Micah. Richard and Micah are from Southeast Oregon, from two small ranching communities known as Pine Creek and Plush. Raleigh and Joel are from Northeast Oregon, from the Pendleton area. We met through college, mutual friends, and heard of stories of each other. Somehow wound up being at the same place at the same time. See, we live and work in different parts of the U.S. now and have all taken different paths to get to where we are. We all talk separately and live far apart. So we decided we should try and talk more together. We hope you come along and enjoy. And welcome to Far Reaches. I like just dropping in on us when we're rambling on and on. We've been chatting back and forth for a little while during the day, and now we're finally here live, coming to you recorded from wherever. Richard, are you all right? Hurt your neck? He looks like he's
everybody froze.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Welcome to Far Reaches Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Micah Wells. With me, as always, no, that's an overstatement. Averaging out the herd, we've got Rich Bradbury and Mr. Joel Curran. Raleigh is probably dealing with some, I say cow shit. I don't mean like he got some on his boots. I think he's got some issues with the cows. He's got a deal. He might pop in later. We'll see. We'll continue. We're coming to you here again, showing back up. It's been a couple weeks. We've been all going in different circles, so apologize for the slight hiatus, but it's given some of you a chance to get caught up on some back issues, and I know some people have gone through and listened to some of their favorites again, so that's always good, and some new folks have found us also, so welcome. Thank you very much. As you might know, we are on the YouTube. We're on the Facebook, of course, and then all major podcast platforms. So if you can't find us, you really don't want to, which some people, they're okay with that. That happens. So welcome once again. And we start this with a thank you to our good friends at B&K Auto Salvage, who are our title sponsors. They bring this madness to you on a weekly average. So, you know, they're in the beautiful Grand Ronde Valley and outside La Grande and Baker City. So for all your scrapping needs, for all your used parts needs, we were just talking how expensive vehicles can get. Sometimes it's better off just to go find something in the yard or replace some parts there. So still promo code Reacher. So if you roll in there and get some parts, say I'm a Reacher, and you'll get a little bit of discount, and you'll get a little bump on the scrap prices too. So you save some money on one side and get a little more back on the other. It's a win-win, and that's what we think about Far Reaches. So we're going to kick this week off like every week with what we like to call the reach around, which is basically the update, the catch up from last time we spoke and met. And we'll kick it off with Mr. Bradbury. He looks like he's ready to go. Richard, what's your contribution to the reach around?
Well, our bulls all tested negative for STDs. So
Critical.
The boys behaved themselves last year, didn't put any pieces where there was bad stuff, so that's good. So
no blessings.
Anyways, we had a little pucker moment there. We might have mismanaged where some of them went before the test was complete. So, but all turned out good in the end. But you'd love this. The girl. So I had tested two different bulls, or two different pools of bulls over a 2-day period. So she calls up and she goes, she splits them up. Instead of just saying, all your bulls tested negative, she goes, well, the first pool, you know, it was negative. And then
you're like, oh, Jesus.
and then so I was like, yeah, the second pool? Well, yeah. I'm like, oh, God.
This is going to cost me. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, then she goes, yeah, they're negative also. I'm like, just say they're all negative.
I get paid by the hour? Yeah, where she just messing with you?
Yeah, I think she knows ranchers like wait for the trick test to come back, and they're like, okay, we gotta get these bulls turned out. Because if you have a bull that has trick in it, and I'm sorry if everybody says, what kind of management is that guy doing that has trick? Well, it happens. So,
exactly. Trichomoniasis, actually. Yeah.
Anyway, so
for all the people who don't know, why don't you go ahead and explain what that is?
It's an STD.
Yeah. That bulls catch and pass
From
along.
slutty cows.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it'll
yeah, they're
if you get it in your herd, it'll cause what is it about anywhere between 20 and 30% of your cows to abort their calves.
yeah. It's actually I'm looking right now on. I can't believe I'm looking at this website, the CDC. Yeah, it's STD homepage, trichomoniasis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, anyways, it's always good. We had a false positive last year, and even though it was a false positive, we had to retest all our bulls, and it was it's not cheap. So, we're happy not to have any false positives this year. It turned out, and then
I keep coughing.
Easy, lunger.
I'm gonna try to go on mute when I have to cough, but
Kind of adds to the texture, you might say.
And then
Sorry, Richard. Go ahead. Yeah.
my other exciting news is I listed a golf course, which I never planned on doing, but I'm very excited about it.
I think
wait,
we
that
should
place
just
you
do
sent
it.
was literally a golf course?
Yes, that's why I said it's your dream job, man.
Oh, it just looked like a 10 acres.
Well, it's kind of a bad angle. Yeah, yeah. You gotta look at the
Oh.
rest of the pictures.
And it comes with a house.
And a
Beautiful.
bar and restaurant, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And it, all for $300,000.
Yes.
No,
Oh.
it's 875,000.
Damn it, I was so
Oh.
close.
Oh, you sent me the wrong thing then, I think.
You
Now
saying
I'm
part of it,
questioning
yeah.
whether I have it listed correctly.
Well, it
Thank
said
you, Joel.
$299.9 on the listing.
Oh, okay.
You're gonna get some. It's the old
It's
bait and switch.
150,000. You can have your own 9-hole ground course.
Yeah, it's just down the road from Thunder Ranch too, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, I think that'd be great 1-2 combination there. But
Anyways, it's sort of near and dear to Mike and I since we both learned how to golf there. Or
yeah, we started our journey. I don't know if we've ever learned
yeah, or
completely, but
maybe
we
not.
started our journey.
Yeah. Anyways, so Micah knows how much I golf pisses me off, but I'm going to sell a golf course. I probably better be golfing on it. So I'm gonna be breaking out, dusting off the old clubs, and headed out to the golf course this next weekend. So
If you got back to where were we at? Lodi when you lost your, I think it was a pitching
Likely.
wedge or a 9-iron. Likely, yeah. I think it was a 9-iron, wasn't it?
pitching wedge.
Yeah, that was fun.
That might have been no, that wasn't the last time I golfed, but it was close to the last time. Maybe
That's
I've
been a
mellowed.
while.
Maybe I'm mellowed.
I
Maybe
think
it'll
so.
be easy.
I think you found your zen. You know, yeah. If Kiko and Jose can come play golf with us and have a good time, I think you can pull it off.
Yeah.
Those maniacs. Yeah, you should consider it, Joel. I think it's a great growth opportunity, as one might say. It's on the good side of the valley, and good location. Yeah, right
I
along the
think
highway.
it's perfect for somebody that also wants to, like, it'd be perfect for a first-time golf course owner. Get a little like CMT reality show going with it, and trials and tribulations of running a 9-hole golf course.
Yeah.
I know a guy that I'll send the listing to for you. He lives in San Francisco. That his dream's always been to own a golf course.
There you go.
I'll send
You
This
you.
one's
partner with
within
the
reach.
Roundup Grounds and partnered with Thunder Ranch. A lot of great opportunities just sitting there. It's driving me crazy. I just don't have the capital. Yeah. I always got the ideas, not the money. That's it happens. That's a pretty damn good reach around, Richard. Congratulations.
Yeah. So,
Proud of you.
anyways, good week.
Cool. Mr. Joel, what's going on in the locker room, my good sir?
Excuse me. We're in the process of packing up to get out of here. We're moving out of here on Saturday. It's been a rough, like, I think finally getting over. I think I have a second bout with the old COVID.
What did I do?
I didn't go get tested though, because I didn't want to like risk testing positive and then having, the health department calling me every day again,
Yeah, that's a big
asking
negative.
those 10 questions. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's been like probably about 2 weeks now. I think but lingering effects of cough. My cough is much worse this time.
Yeah, it's like you've been smoking for 30 years when you kind of hacked up a long minute ago.
Yeah.
But you look good. You look normal. So
So work's been tough because just didn't have any energy, mental fog, that sort of thing.
I was just gonna say, like on a more cerebral focused job, having that low energy just makes it 10 times worse for me anyways. If I'm trying to crunch numbers and spreadsheets, like it just don't work. So that sucks.
Yeah, for sure. It's gotta be way worse if you're doing physical labor, but it's still a problem when you're supposed to read and think. Yeah.
Sometimes you can just power through it.
But
glad to have you with us
occasion, I decided to have a cocktail for the first time.
Me as well. Little G&T with an olive.
Mine's Bullet bourbon.
Ooh, dirty G&T.
I almost went
dirty,
the Bullet.
Dirty.
It's dirty G&T, baby, with uppity tonic too. It's nice, great stuff. Yeah, I like the Bullet. It's bueno. So yeah, moving on Saturday to the other apartment, and you realize you're thinking like, how did I get this much crap in this apartment? Is that what you're thinking already?
I'm really good about. Well, I think I'm good, but most people would. No, I'm pretty comfortable just throwing shit away, even if it's valuable. Like, luckily, some of Jess's friends were doing like a stoop sale.
Oh, that's right. You wouldn't have a garage sale back there, would you? You'd have a stoop sale.
Yeah, so they set it up, thankfully, and we just threw a bunch of our shit out there. Like, got rid of an old record player and a sound bar. Whole bunch of stuff that I would have just let's throw it away, but made like $200 off of it. Which a lot of that stuff was a really good deal. Like, had a brand new tooth dental water pick that had never been opened.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah. That cost like $100. I never even opened it, and it sold that for like $15 or something like that.
Oh,
are you getting
moved down the road
in New York?
Mm-hmm. What's that?
Are you getting another apartment in New York?
Yeah, but I'm headed back to Pendleton on next week.
Okay,
but I'll be bi-coastal, I guess.
I always knew you were bi. Coastal. Sorry, I was thinking about something else. Yeah.
Don't out me like that.
Joe comes out as bi. That's going to be my title, for the next.
What else has been going on this week? Last 2 weeks. Watched a really fabulous movie called Roped. I thought maybe we get into that. Maybe we get into it later. Did you guys ever watch that?
No, I did not watch that.
What? Did you watch at least the recording clip that I sent you? Like that scene?
No.
Really?
No.
It's like really dark. Supposed to be a dark scene where he's connecting with the girl he likes, and he's like talking about how his little brother died. He slipped through the fence, and the cows got spooked when they were bringing him in, and he was like, couldn't get to him fast enough.
I probably should go back and at least give you the satisfaction of watching the preview, but I just looked at the picture and I read their synopsis, and I read what you wrote, and I was like, I can't do it. I can't. No.
Well, I think you lost me at the calf roper trying to win the PBR.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, the film opens up with a calf roping scene, which I actually didn't finish it. I think I turned it off with like 5 or 10 minutes left. But the movie opened up with like that was the only rodeo scene in the entire film. He successfully roped his calf and tied it, and then there were like these random PBR posters in the background all over the movie, and these guys were trying to make it into the PBR, and they were in town for a rodeo, and there were only like 9 people there at this pretty big fairgrounds and rodeo arena, and there were like 9 cowboys there, and they were doing work. They were like putting up fence, they were shoveling, and they were being put to work.
Montage.
They had a boss. They had a boss, and the boss wouldn't let them go into town. There was one scene where they had a camp.
Opposite reason why people get into rodeo.
Exactly.
Yeah, they had to like work during the day, and they couldn't go into town. And And then there was one scene there at a campfire, and there was a big John Deere combine in the background. It was just,
Oh, that's
it
beautiful.
seemed to me like it was put together by somebody who had, I think I said it, somebody overheard a conversation about rodeo one time, and then they wrote a whole movie about it.
Which,
And
that kind of impresses me, really. That's like, I can do this. PBR, NFR, who cares?
like, you want to turn it off because it's so bad at first, but then you just hate watch it. It's fucking great. Give it a try. Just put it on, and like, you'll laugh because of how absurd it is. But the premise of the movie is opposite of what I expected. Like, the town council is really anti-rodeo and animal rights, and they're vegan and all this stuff. And then they spend the movie, the good guy cowboy kind of convinces the town folk that rodeo is not so bad after all. They are not abusive to the livestock. And
it's a surprising twist.
yeah, it was kind of like, what is this? It's like just terrible propaganda,
but surprising propaganda.
Yeah, but in a surprising way, not what you would expect.
That's awesome.
Like, I would have expected that quality of movie from an anti-rodeo group instead of a pro-rodeo.
Maybe that's their idea. They make rodeo seem so horrid, you
Could
won't
be.
want to go watch one. It's not necessarily about animal rights anymore. It's just about, God, that sucks, and they don't know what they're doing. Maybe that's their.
And then there's this guy. He's clearly driving like a Ford, like F-150, and he races the guy, and the cowboy rides his horse, and he races around the obstacle course. The guy has like a brand new pickup, and there's a couple scenes where he's in the garage with like the wrench, and he's doing work under the hood. Like, what work are you doing on a brand new pickup?
Gotta have that
fixing anything.
That construction montage again. Yeah, like
it's fine.
No, that's hilarious. It's probably a crescent wrench too, or something like that. It's hilarious. And thanks for the new term too. Hate watch a movie. I can get behind that.
Yeah, you gotta watch that, old man.
Okay.
I'm gonna go on mute and cough.
That's okay. Yeah. I was gonna make noises for it just because. Anything else besides hate watching?
Reviews on it.
Oh, that's why you look so focused.
It's like Romeo and Juliet. Their forbidden teenage love eventually inspires the two warring sides to consider each other's positions, but only after tragedy. What was the tragedy
in that movie?
The kid dying?
I think it might have been probably his little brother got killed, but they didn't really play that up at all. It was like a non-factor.
Yeah, that seems like an old tragedy.
It was very, very poorly done. Is the thing. That's why you should watch it.
I'll give him that. Appreciate the effort.
Wow.
Probably better than we could make. I don't know. Maybe we could start Far Reach's
what kind of
productions.
Town? What kind of town, small town, with a rodeo grounds and a rodeo is completely anti-rodeo?
I was wondering that.
What a stupid concept. These people don't hate the rodeo. So weird.
I'm intrigued now.
Yeah, I pictured some, the corrupt businessmen like, I'm bringing rodeo to this town whether you like it or not. And they're protesting. It's not a titty bar or something or adult bookstore. It's
it's hilarious. Like they took an old 80s ski movie. It just said, we're just going to put rodeo wherever there was ski mountain.
Exactly. We don't want you crazy kids skiing around here. We won't have that. Oh, or like a golf movie or something, Bushwood, it's the only reason with this crappy rodeos, I might buy it. What? Yeah. Now you've got me intrigued, Joel.
West was not found on rodeos.
Yeah, exactly. We must do the lambada. Yes. Oh, that's quality. I'm gonna watch it now. I'll be honest with you. So thanks for teaching me that. Let's see. Update for me. I had to laugh because I turned my brand new pickup back in on lease, and I bought this 2004 Runner. I don't know, 3 months ago, something like that, maybe longer. And about a week after I turn in my new pickup, I get a weird coolant leak from some mystery hose on my 4Runner. I got to get to the shop now. So still runs around, just leaks a little bit of coolant, but I just had to giggle because never a problem whatsoever the whole time that it was parked outside and my pickup was inside in the garage. Turn the pickup back in, put the 4Runner in the garage, and less than a week later, it starts leaking. So I don't get it, but I had to giggle. So that's one of my updates, just because no good deed shall go unpunished. But we'll get it fixed.
You had mentioned before we started that you hadn't been to the grocery store in a long time, and I had read something I thought was interesting this week, that evidence that we are in a simulation. Was somebody said, have you ever seen your neighbors carrying groceries in from the car?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, no, I haven't. And in fact, I never see my neighbors. Like in Pendleton, I don't think
really?
I've ever seen my mom's neighbors.
Oh,
Like,
I do hear quite a bit. Yeah.
You ever see them carrying groceries inside?
I do actually. The guy that,
all right, never
I'm
mind.
sorry, but I can believe it. We're in Florida. Shit's not real here anyways. The guy across the street is the manager of a local Publix, which, if you remember the DeSantis stuff from a few weeks ago, grocery chain, lives right across the street. So, R Cubed, what are you doing?
You guys are on mute.
All backed up today.
Oh, he's like a little spider monkey on Mountain Dew. Now that's a visual. I think I just found the screenshot for the opening credits. Yeah. I still think we're in a simulation, Joel.
All right, that's enough.
We're in the Matrix. He's just like his dad was in college.
I think he's going through his I'm a dinosaur phase.
Oh, that's a great phase. Yeah. I'm a dinosaur phase. I like it.
That's the Velociraptor.
He's very deceivingly intelligent. I always I write down notes throughout the thing so I can kind of keep track of what we're talking about. And then I go back and read them. I'm like, what the hell was I trying to say there? What were we talking about? If I try to you just read it all at once, it makes absolutely zero sense whatsoever. And that encourages me because I know we're doing a good job. Yeah.
Let me know if this fan background noise is too loud, because it's like a sauna in this bedroom.
Well, you're in the locker room. What do you expect?
Is that too loud?
You can just barely hear it. No kidding. We don't even hear it. So
does it smell like
through the shirt?
It smells like Teen Spirit.
Yeah, it smells pretty bad in this room now.
It should say it smells like sex and candy. Remember that song, Richard? Mm-hmm. That was a good song. Yeah, so Rig's got to go to the shop, get fixed, because either that or I go probably spend about the same amount to buy a floor jack and some jack stands. I might do it anyways, just for shits and giggles, but we'll see. Got to get it fixed. So I laughed. Makes sense. Got to get everything squared away. Got new tires on it. So, of course, that was before the coolant leak was discovered. But yeah, brand new feet. So we're rolling. Yeah. Pretty proud. Pretty big deal. Pretty big deal. Yeah, no rolls yet. So too bad. We'll just make some shit up about his weekly update. I think he's got gonosyphil herpes. So
he tested positive for trick.
He did. So luckily he wasn't around any of your cows. So we'll move on to our next segment, the entertainment spotlight. Now, Mr. Bigsby was supposed to have this spotlight this week, but since he's limping out on us, we'll have to make do. Luckily, I think we can all probably drag through this one blindfolded, because the movie that Rawls picked, bless his beating little heart, was Austin Powers, International Man of Mystery, 1997. Can you believe that shit, Maynard? Seriously? That's not good. To May 1997, actually. So this month would have been an anniversary of some sorts. I'm not good at math, but it's been a while.
Been a bit.
Turns out. So, as Rawls, why'd you pick this movie? And he said, because I think we needed a laugh. That's why. And I said, I can't
Well,
argue that at all, man. I can't
with
argue that
all
at
the-
all.
With all the shit going on in the world, I think we just needed to calm down a little bit. That's my Raleigh impression.
Nailed it. Even got a blue jean shirt on. Kinda. It's like the New York version of the work shirt. I'm impressed. Appreciate the attention to detail. You got to be eating like pickled duck dick or some kind of weird stuff to get the full Rawls effect. We'll let you pass. So, Austin Powers, International Man of Mystery, 1997. Mike Myers, just obviously been a pretty big staple on Saturday Night Live, and had quite a run on that. And with, we're not worthy. So when this came out, it was like out of left field though, because it was so ridiculous, beyond hilarious. Played two characters, played himself and Dr. Evil. And Dr. Evil was definitely modeled heavily after 1960s Bond villains, but also more importantly, Lorne Michaels, the long-standing producer of Saturday Night Live, especially with the pinky thing with the finger. That was a big Lorne Michaels thing. But Rawls is right. We needed a laugh, and I watched this, and it's a good movie when you're just watching and just laugh out loud. Like when there's a whole room of people and you laugh out loud, that's okay. When it's just you, that's a damn funny movie. Just because it's so hilarious, like the freezing, the teeth, he's frozen. He goes in a cryogenic state when Dr. Evil's back in the 60s and goes into outer space. So Austin Powers decides to freeze himself. So when Dr. Evil comes back, then he'll be ready to help save the world, which is that's one concept. When they go back to thawing back out, it's like Gary Coleman and Vanilla Ice are the two of the celebrities that are also frozen there, which really cracked me up given who they were. So it, I don't know. What's your favorite part of this movie? You watching it now, Joel? What are you doing?
No, what? I was trying to remember exactly what the quotes were, but I thought it was interesting that there were several quotes in the movie that I completely forgotten where they had come from. Like they've entered the whole American lexicon.
Yeah,
but I forgot they were from that. Like I think it was like "That's you in a nutshell." He's like, "This is me in a nutshell."
Yeah, this is
that
me
one. And then the other one, I just saw it on the quotes. Sorry, you can keep talking. I'll find it. I don't know. I remember that movie really well. Apparently not really well, but that one is meaningful for me because in Pendleton, when you graduate from middle school, you leave early that day, and everybody in eighth grade at the time, because I started high school at Pendleton High, so I was the first class that started there in ninth grade. But after last day of school in eighth grade, everybody walks. You walk from the fucking Sunridge Middle School into town, and we all went to the movie theater, and that's the movie we went to is Austin Powers, which is a really long walk for people who don't know, but that's
a jaunt.
Probably 5 miles or something, I guess.
I've done that walk actually. It's closer to 3, but it's still a long ways.
Well, when you're in eighth grade, it seems like
forever. I guess if you
and then you guys get a lot of high school kids coming by, and because they know you're doing it, and all the high school kids drive by and throw water balloons and stuff at you.
Like going to kind of the gauntlet. Yes.
Yeah, we went to Godfather's Pizza, and then went to the movie theater. Saw Austin Powers, and it was
that's a pretty damn good day right there. You got to admit.
Funniest. At the time, it was the funniest movie I'd ever seen in my life. Man.
Oh yeah, I think so.
As an adult, like the Dr. Evil's character is incredible. Like, because it's Mike Myers acting in like a serious comedic type character instead of like the goofy stuff that he often does. Like even Austin Powers himself is like a goofy, kills the children. And But Dr. Evil, like when he stands up in the therapy session and gives a background of his history.
Yes, very somber, very sullen, just low toned, ritualistically shorn scrotum. Just
Yeah, so
summers in Rangoon. Yeah.
My father was a relentlessly self-improving boulangerie owner from Belgium with low-grade narcolepsy and a penchant for buggery. My mother was a 15-year-old French prostitute named Chloe with web feet. My father would womanize. He would drink. He would make outrageous claims like he invented the question mark. Sometimes he would accuse chestnuts of being lazy. The sort of general malaise that only the genius possess and the insane lament. My childhood was typical. Summers in Rangoon, luge lessons. In the spring, we'd make meat helmets. When I was insolent, I was placed in a burlap bag and beaten with reeds. Pretty standard, really. At the age of 12, I received my first scribe. At the age of 14, a Zoroastrian named Vilma ritualistically shaved my testicles. But yeah, stuff like that. When Dr. Evil plays up the act of the seriousness of his character is pretty funny.
Well, in the fact that he's been frozen for 30 years in space and the company is still going. And he gets back and it's like it's a $30 billion company. Number 2, Robert Wagner comes out. It's like, yeah, we're in all these different things now. We do petroleum and shipping, and we have a factory in Cleveland that makes little models of factories. Because they have this big map and they're learn with all of that. But the funny part is they're way more successful just being involved in the corporate world than the 2-bit criminal shit he's been trying to run. It's so funny about all the things he thinks up of what we can do now, with throw me a freaking bone, people. Yeah. We made over 30
Will Ferrell
billion.
was in it. I had no idea.
Mustafa.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm very badly burned. Yes. You shot me in the leg. Yes. Those little moments like that with all the chairs and the henchmen. They're always after me, Lucky Charms. It just absolutely slays me. And so there's so many, I noticed that too, Joe, when I started watching about all the lines from that have just intertwined for sure. Like, don't make you horny, don't make you randy, and like a whole generation learned who Burt Bacharach was.
Well, allow myself to introduce myself. I that's like a famous line, but I completely forgot that it was from Austin Powers.
Oh yeah. And one of the first ones I think of when I thought of Austin Powers is that exact line. Then it's so funny. Just the movie, because but I'm way older than you are, so that's part of it.
It was peak Elizabeth Hurley also.
Yes. Elizabeth Hurley. Thank you.
It was also funny that, because again, I was young when I watched it the first time, and looking back at what I thought was hilarious when I was a kid, and how stupid that is now.
Well, yes.
That's the beauty of Mike Myers, though.
Yeah, it appeals to a pretty wide group.
Sure. You can have kids or adults go to that movie and both like it, because we get, different things out of each character. So that's part of the brilliance. And of course, the play on the over-sexual James Bond names, this is my Italian confidential secretary, Halata Vagina. Excuse me? Instead of Pussy Galore.
Wouldn't pass the woke test. That's for sure. There's one scene where he's like a little bit rapey in the bed. Right?
Oh, he's like, oh, turbulence. Yeah.
Yeah. That wouldn't fly in 2021.
Probably not, even with the overly sexually charged, international man of mystery. The whole freaking Swedish penis pump scene, fucking absolutely slays me when he's checking out of prison, and it's like the suit, the cravat, the leather boots. Hello, boys. for Baccarat, one Swedish penis pump. That's not mine. One credit card receipt for one Swedish penis pump. I swear it's not my bag. One warranty card, then one book. Like, let's just put it all in there to get this moving along so we can leave. Yeah.
What did you think, Mike? The line about when he admits to sleeping with China.
Oh yeah.
And she asked him, "Did you use protection?" And he's like, "No, of course not. I'm not a sailor or something." she's like, "It's the '90s." He's like, it takes it to mean that they don't use protection. He's like, well, they should. They just go port to port.
Or dirty buggers or whatever he says. Yeah. And he's like, oh, of course I have protection. I have my Walther. No, prophylactics. Oh, no, not a sailor. Yeah. It's just like...
I think why it's a funny movie, I think it's important that it was created because I think it gave us the Daniel Craig James Bond. Because I think it made the owners of the James Bond franchise sort of like think, okay, we've now just been spoofed, possibly one of the best spoof movies ever made.
Ever.
So our next Bond is going to have to come out and be super strong. And so I think that whole Daniel Bond, Craig Bond series was probably, I'd say Austin Powers was responsible for making that so good.
I completely agree. They had to kick up their game and be like, we can't have the spoof of our movie be more popular than our movie, which it certainly was, because it was a downtime for Bond too. Pierce Brosnan was okay, but he wasn't really. By the second or third Pierce Brosnan movie, it was dragging. So
yeah, when he goes, "You want your martini shaken or stirred?" And he looks at the guy and goes, "Do I look like I give a damn?"
Like, yeah. Oh, yeah. That was like, that's when you knew the Bond had shifted for sure.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen all the James Bond movies? I've never seen a single one of them. I think that would be a cool achievement to watch them all.
You have to watch them all just so you can respect Skyfall. Because
damn,
in the whole chronicle of movies, Skyfall is amazing.
Yeah.
Well, I like that
seriously
Adele
some good stuff.
soundtrack.
Yeah,
Is that the one with the famous Adele song?
Yeah.
A huge weakness for Adele right here.
Yeah,
I catch crap for it. Yeah. McDave and I ran a 5K one time. It was like our yearly goal. And we get to the starting line. He's like, what is that? And I'm like, what do you mean? I have my earplugs in. He's like, are you fucking listening to Adele before? I'm like, I always listen to Adele when I run. He's like, I'm getting away from you. I'm like, dude, Fire from Rain is like, that's a great song to run to. Anyways. That went sideways quick. Joel, you should definitely watch the Jimmy Bond movies for sure. All the way back, like, what was that guy's name? Peter Lazaros, I think. Is that the guy that was like the first Bond?
No, Connery was the first Bond. Peter Lazaros only had one Bond role.
Yeah, he only had one, but I didn't remember where he fell in the pile.
He was before.
Oh, I heard Sean Connery died this year. He was on the Oscars on the dead people list.
You watched the fucking Oscars? Are you kidding me?
I did, yeah.
Oh, congratulations. Yeah, he died. It was like, remember that for like 2 or 3 months? Like, it just kept coming. Like, you're like, shit, I don't even want to ask what next because it's going to find out.
Oh, yeah. Missed out.
So no more Celebrity Jeopardy with Sean Connery. I mean, they'll probably still do it, I hope, but yeah.
Like, as far as had they just stopped from Russia with Love, that would have been that's one of the 100 all-time greatest movies ever made.
It's epic, dude. Epic.
Yeah. So, and I think that what does it go? Casino Royale, Casino Royale, Quantum of Solace, Skyfall, Spectre.
I think Spectre's the last for now. Yeah. I believe. Perhaps our good friends at IMDb can shed some light, Richard.
GoldenEye was good. I got to give Pierce Brosnan, that was pretty good.
Like, No Time to Die is coming out this year, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah, GoldenEye wasn't bad. Yeah, there was a lot of the one I couldn't stand was the Roger Moore. I didn't really care for him too much.
I loved Octopussy with Grace Jones. She was badass.
Yes, I'll give you that.
Moonraker was pretty good.
Moonraker was all right. I guess he wasn't that bad. He's just not my favorite Bond. So, but Joel, highly recommend. Must do.
How many are there? There's probably like 30 of them, aren't there?
It's a pile. I don't know. I think
So Sean Connery left the series and then came back for one.
Okay. Oh, that's right.
Yep. So it goes Sean Connery, the French dude, Sean Connery, Roger Moore, Timothy Dalton.
Timmy Dalton for a couple.
Yeah. Oh,
that's right.
Timothy Dalton, Pierce Brosnan, Daniel Craig.
Daniel Craig. Yeah.
And they had to pay Daniel Craig a ton of money to come back for this last one. We got off Austin Powers. Sorry.
They're all tied together, man. This is we're making up the rules as we go along. That's the whole point. Yeah, he didn't want to come back, I don't think. There was a lot of talk about different people heading that route. But
you know what's awesome is the Netflix series about the writer. Not Arthur Conan Doyle.
the guy who wrote Bond?
Yeah. There's a killer Netflix series just about him, and he's a badass in his own right.
He was. He didn't pull it out of his ass.
Ian Fleming. Yeah, that's one of the first big successful Netflix series was the Ian Fleming series.
I gotta check that out.
He also took the time to write Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Isn't that such a departure? Like, I guess they're both sort of like about magic cars and shit, but that's about where it ends. Because, I don't know the total number of Bond movies, but it's quite a journey, that's for sure.
Used to be on TBS every Thanksgiving you could watch them all.
That's right. That was beautiful, man. I remember that. There's a couple times in like freshman year of college, I was waiting for my GI Bill check to come in the mail because they didn't even have direct deposit back then, or they didn't do it for some reason. And that would keep me alive, man, watching the 24, I call it Bond Fest or Thankful for Bond or whatever it was on TBS, just waiting, watching the Bond. It was awesome. Memories. Kind of sucked at the time. Really cool now. So.
Yeah, because when you watch it on TBS, it takes 6 hours to watch one Bond.
Precisely. Yes. That's how they stretch it out. Like 12 minutes a movie, 13 minutes of commercials. They get their money's worth. But if you can put up with it, you can watch it. Yeah, I watched Austin Powers on Comedy Central this time because most of it was there. But I did absolutely. I howl out laughing every time Tom Arnold in the bathroom when he just freaking whips open the door and like woo hits the blind guy, just like that's some crazy get up, man. Are you in a circus? Actually, no, I'm English. Oh, that's too bad. It's just like. It wasn't hard to talk him into that, I'm sure. Like, hey, just put this shit on and be you and go enjoy it. So
I don't think you have to talk Tom Arnold into any.
I don't think so either. No, or anything for that matter. But the class who does number 2 what for? You say that, everybody knows what you're talking about, or at least maybe not where it comes from, but what it means. Absolutely. Jesus, boy, what'd you eat? God, the whole thing just kills me. So I'm probably going to watch it again this weekend just because. So
I'd say if you're going to rank them, I like the one with Heather Graham.
Oh, that's the second one, isn't it? I think.
And isn't the third one Beyonce? That one's pretty good.
I think so. I still like the first one best, I think. Just because it was so new, so out of nowhere. And I think I like Elizabeth Hurley better than Heather Graham. So
She was real pretty in that movie.
In Goldmember, that's probably the best villain in the whole series, though.
Oh, yeah, Will Ferrell. He nails it. As always.
Yeah. I would say that was one of the funniest movies I ever saw until The Hangover. I don't think I've seen a first movie that has been funnier than the first time I saw The Hangover.
Oh, man.
I remember laughing so hard in The Hangover that I could not breathe.
You think you're going to pass out? Yeah. Ted was up there, but obviously Hangover came out way before Ted did. But that was another one that completely caught me off guard. Was just beyond hilarious. Mostly because we sat there, the pre-funk, we had pot roast with us. So listening to Carl talk about things we were crying, but more importantly, watching people drag in like their 2, 3, 4-year-old kids to the movie, to Ted. When A, it says rated R, B, it boldly says from the creator of Family Guy on the poster. And what you notice when you walk into the movie theater and it's pretty much just 21 to 50-year-old dudes, that you're probably not there for something your 5-year-olds would watch, because 2 minutes into Ted, they're getting up and running out the door with their kids, and we're freaking dying laughing. So I don't think the whole movie was as fun as Hangover, but pretty damn good.
There hasn't been a really funny movie in a long time.
You can't have fun anymore.
I guess the last batch of them were like the Super Bad and stuff like that.
Super Bad, Neighbors, I think, was in that same genre. 40-year-old version.
Step Brothers.
Step Brothers.
Step Brothers.
Hilarious.
Anchorman was Will Ferrell movies were really good for a long time.
But it's been a while since any of those have come out too.
Yeah.
The second Paul Blart was actually funnier. The other one was sort of dark and twisted.
The what?
First Paul Blart Mall Cop was sort of dark and twisted, but the second one was sort of funny.
I did not watch the second one.
I don't see either of those.
Yeah. Missed it. Good point on the funny movies, though. There's been several documentaries or like specials on how being too PC has kind of killed the comedy in movies. It's like, I think Judd Apatow and somebody else was talking about it, because obviously what they did on, you think about Old School was freaking absolutely hilarious when that first rolled out. Like that was probably the one that hit me after Austin Powers of the Old School, because that was funny. Like completely.
But one of the best comedy movies I've seen is Ant-Man.
Oh, really? That strikes me as a comedy. I don't have that off the top of my head. I think I've seen Ant-Man, but it had moments. Paul Rudd, of course. Yeah.
Well, and there's the assistant guy. Hilarious. When they drug him and he can't stop talking.
That's funny, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that poor little bastard. Yeah. He's this is a random question, but I just had the UPS guy stop at my house, and it's damn near 10 o'clock at night my time. Did they come that late where you live?
No, 9 o'clock is the end cutoff here.
Oh, state law or something, or ordinance, or
well,
they just don't want to be out past 9.
Yeah, sure, they got to stop working at some point.
Yeah, it's 9:52 p.m. when we're recording this, and UPS just left the package at the front door. So, yeah, just random question. So,
I'm probably more likely to get one at 6:30 in the morning here.
There's that. Yeah, or your neighbor pulls up and like, yes, Steve dropped this off because you weren't home, so I got it for you. Yeah. Or in Pendleton once, he missed me, and I was waiting for an iPhone or something. I really wanted it bad, so I just drove around town until I saw the UPS truck. And I was like, dude, he's like, oh, there you are. Throws me my package. I was like, thanks. It was like, just go track the truck down. I knew where it was going to be. It was pretty easy. Like, Junior, has he been at the store yet? No. Okay. So I knew where he was headed. It happens. Good and bad of a small town. So there's your randomness. But anyways, yes, Austin Powers.
Fistfight with a FedEx. Go ahead.
You got to hear the rest of that. No, I almost got in a fist fight with the FedEx guy. Is that what you just said?
Yeah, he had my passport, and I was trying to get it delivered to the ranch in Winnemucca, and FedEx for some reason cannot find it because it's 4 miles out of Winnemucca.
Mm-hmm.
And anyway, so I went to the parking lot. And I was like, "Hey, I need that package. I need it to get on the plane in a couple of days." He's like, "Oh no, we have to deliver it to your house." I said, I'm right here. I have my ID and everything. Just give it to me. He's like, no, it's against company policy. I said, have you ever been out to where the ranch is? He goes, oh no, we don't go out there. I'm like, how in the hell am I going to get my package? He goes, well, you can fill out the form. I'm like, I'm not filling out the form. I said, you're going to give me my package now, or we're going to have problems.
Of all things for him to have, he has your passport. Like, there's no getting around about who kicked your ass. Well, it's the guy that owns this package right here. We're gonna have problems. So I'm guessing he's like, fine, sign this.
Yep. No, he didn't even sign it. He just threw it at me and I took it and went. I had a standoff with the FedEx in the Rite Aid parking lot of Winnemucca.
Probably not the first time that's happened. Son of a bitch. Yeah. We don't go out there. How the hell am I supposed to get my package? Like when you boil things down, you know it's going to be a squirrely situation. Like, look, either you're going to hand me this or we're going to have problems. Like, what is that? How many times do people have to ask, so what's that mean? Like, you pretty much know, like, we're going to have problems. Like, we're already outside, okay? I'm going to drag you the rest of the way of the truck.
My favorite part of those conversations is when they realize that they're 5'3" and I'm 6'4".
He's like, so I'm sitting in my truck and this guy's looking me in the eye. This might be a problem. Yeah. Oh, that's hilarious. Those are one of those sentences that catch me off guard. Yeah, I almost got in a fist fight with a FedEx guy one time.
You never have that kind of problem with the Swans guy. They're always super chill.
Totally. Yeah, whatever you need. Of course, they usually don't have your passport unless you do some illegal shit. All right, Tuesday at 3. The Swans guy is going to drop off some rocket pops and your passport.
That should be their slogan.
I was going to say, don't fight off a pack of dogs to drop off a yogurt push-up.
What should their slogan be, Joel?
We're super chill.
We're super chill. Nice. Tied it in with the frozen food, cold. Wow.
Yeah.
I think you found your new calling. Well done, sir. Well done. So yeah, I think Rawls, thank you for picking Austin Powers, International Man of Mystery. I was thinking Ty Campbell because he really liked, do like you want it, baby. Do I? Oh, right. Yeah, Ty does pretty good Austin Powers. It's pretty entertaining. So Spatula, we salute you. Thank you so much. Outstanding. Joel, do you have one ready to go? Because you're up this week. I just want to prime you that it's coming up in a little while. You got to have the entertainment spotlight. So you're not saying, yeah, I'm just letting you know that. Okay.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Catch you flat-footed. So
I have 2 options that
beautiful.
I'll decide. Yeah.
I like this. The clock's ticking. So our next segment is our world famous and often spoke of intellectual moment of the week, brought to you by our tremendously good friends at Pendleton Mixer and Cigar, South Emigrant Street, downtown Pendleton, Oregon. Tell a shopkeep you're a reacher, he'll treat you right. How can you go wrong there? So, Joel, the reason why I perked up so much when you said a statement earlier, because my random intellectual moment of the week is not really intellectual, but I just want to know, did you watch the Oscars? Because I didn't even know they'd happened until on Monday when there was commentary on all the things that people said or did or did not do, and so completely blew past me. And so I was curious, did anybody watch the Oscars? And then you just randomly mentioned it during our conversation. So
yeah, I had them on. I wasn't like watching closely or anything, but I think it was during the height of my sickness. I was having a really hard time following along with what they were saying. Like they were like, I don't know who these actors and actresses are anymore, and they're talking about, oh, this person got their start work with such and such, and all these like French people names and whatnot, and all these movies I've never heard of. Like, what are you talking about? I couldn't.
Can I even hear anymore? Is that English? What's going on?
Like, they were. I mean, it's interesting to watch them because of all of the glamour of it. That sounds kind of stupid to say, but it's all gone. It's like when you think of like old Hollywood, get dressed up and it's like I don't know. It was always glamorous. I always kind of used to enjoy watching the Oscars. They're in like a train station, and they're all spread apart. And then like, what is this asshole wearing this big fluffy dress for? It just looked ridiculous, and it really like juxtaposes. I think that's the word, juxtapose.
The juxtaposition, like the antithesis of something or the opposite thereof.
It's just like that stuff is dead. I don't think it's ever coming back.
Like it'll take a generation at least, I think, and that's why I asked, because I noticed on Monday that I listened to some sports early in the mornings, and the guy was talking about how that the ratings for the Oscars were like the lowest they've like 9 point something million people watched the Oscars. And, like last year was like 20 million, and that was down. And so it was just like
used to be like 50 million people would watch that.
It's a pretty big deal. Yeah, for sure. I think they've always been a little weird, but I think they've gotten more into the whole like, if it's a popular movie, it really can't be an Oscar winner. I think like basically, I think the last time that really happened was probably like Titanic, when it was like super popular but still won like Best Picture. And I agree, there's a thing about art, but it's also like, if it's a good movie, everybody enjoys. So if there's 8 movies up for Best Picture, I don't have any idea what any of them are even about, or ever heard of them, or have no clue. What do I care? And
I think
so.
I think people start losing the Oscars when they jacked Lord of the Rings.
Probably a big part of it. The new Star Wars, Lord of the Rings. Like there's these great, really cinematic masterpiece movies that come out, I think, with good actors. Everything else, and they'll get smoked for like Man at Train Station. You're like, what are you talking about? It's
just... I actually watched Nomadland.
I heard that was a decent movie, but I have no idea what it's about.
It was all right. It wasn't. After I watched it, it was like, it's an okay movie. It wasn't. It doesn't seem like the quality of a movie that should win an Oscar. But the thing about, I was expecting a lot more woke bullshit than what they said. I think those people know that so much of America is tired of their bullshit, so I think they dialed it back a little bit. I mean, there were a couple
too
like
late. I think there were
brief statements, but
several instances, yeah. But
there weren't long rants about it. And like Tyler Perry himself,
I liked his comments. I listened to those.
He gave a pretty unifying speech.
I liked it. I heard that.
Tyler Perry not make sense. I mean, I've never heard Tyler Perry be nothing but on point.
Yeah, never seen one of his movies, but seems like an all right guy.
I love the Medina movies.
Medina's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Just the way she says words is very Southern and funny to me. I love it. How are you? What's that?
Stories are all awesome. They're real people stories. Like,
sure. I'll give them that for sure.
Everybody has their family stories, and everybody has that dysfunction in their family.
100%.
They just don't have Medea to call it all out. So.
There's that, yeah. But yeah, I think some people just didn't watch because they didn't know what the movies were. Some people didn't watch because they're like, I don't want to hear, I don't need to be preached at about whatever, by any of you assholes, about no matter what it is. I don't care. I think when they started forgetting too that movies are an escape for people, like that's why we watch them, because it reminds us of other things and takes our mind off, like sports, and then like when that starts plowing into the middle of it, you're like, that's not enjoyable anymore. Thanks. Like the few moments I have to like be free and not worry about all the stupid shit in my life, then you hit me with something else. So no thanks. So, the hypocrisy of moving all the homeless people out of the way before they had the show, huge fence around everything and armed guards. I just had to laugh my ass off about that. I was like, okay, again, when you put it on the paper, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. So yeah, I just curious who'd watch it or not, because I missed it completely off my radar, and then the ratings were shite. So I was
Yeah,
curious.
I was just kind of surprised that maybe it's weird that you suddenly realize, fuck, I'm kind of old. Maybe that's the problem. Like, I don't know who any of these superstars are anymore. Like, you don't see. I think Brad Pitt was there, but like, you don't see Leonardo DiCaprio and Martin Scorsese, and I just don't know I don't know who any of these nominees were.
Interesting. Well, again, didn't see the movies. Where you did, you're like, I know Frances McDormand because didn't she win Best Actress for Nomadland? Yeah, of course, Fargo and all that stuff, and I kind of appreciate her work, but I saw her acceptance speech and she's howling weird. Like a wolf, and I was like, man, I think she might have got hit in the head or something. Like she's but
she seems so angry.
Absolutely. Yes. Precisely. And like, why? You get paid to pretend, so enjoy it.
Yeah.
Just saying. I don't know. I was just curious. So, because usually it's something that's going to be on my radar. I'll see an advertisement or something somewhere, but so that's how I know I'm getting old, when I miss shit like that. So.
Well, I was thinking, I don't even have cable. So like, I don't have any of the major networks. So there's
I don't have cable, but I have the networks.
Yeah, I'm just saying, I wouldn't even know, because I have Hulu, Netflix, and Disney Plus. That's all we watch. And that stuff nobody ever talks about the Oscars on any of those. Wasn't in my YouTube feed.
So then it didn't matter. Yeah. I'm close. Like, I probably don't ever watch a commercial, because if I have YouTube TV, so I have all the networks and I have everything basically, but it's internet based, of course. So I DVR probably 75% of the stuff I watch has been recorded already, and I'm not watching commercials if I have the opportunity. And most of them I don't have to watch that, or I watch Prime or Netflix or Motor Trend TV. I watch the shit out of that. That's pretty much all. If I'm gonna just go sit down and like veg out for 30 minutes, I'm watching Motor Trend TV, and they're building a car in a junkyard and driving it in 2 days, like cool shit like we would have done in high school. So yeah, I don't care.
Advertising space.
Turns out not. Yes, none of those things are. So I'm watching Burn Notice on Prime, so like, or I watch NCIS, but again, I don't watch the commercials. So if they're talking about the 85th gala, whatever, I'm missing it. And I've thought about this a lot, and I'm okay with that. Just saying. So, well, since Rawls limped out on us, anybody have a word of the week they want to talk about? If not, we'll just make him say one twice next time. But I don't have anything. I hadn't thought about it until I looked down my list, and I was like, oh,
I got one.
Oh, let it rip, Tater Chip.
What does Helter Skelter mean?
Say the word again.
Helter Skelter.
I think it's several things. I think it's Chucky Manson.
I know what it's that. It's Manson, and then I think it has some World War II something. It has something to do with it. But
good song too.
Beatles, yeah, Beatles.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which I want to say, I saw the new Peter Jackson trailer for his new Beatles movie. Amazing.
Oh, really? I did not know.
It's all documentary from like 60 hours of footage that had never been filmed before. And I have actually in a 6-minute trailer.
How did it have been? Wait a minute. It's been filmed. It just hasn't been seen, right?
Yeah, not been seen, yeah.
Okay.
Anyways, in a 6-minute trailer, I came to really appreciate George Harrison, and I've been listening to a lot of George Harrison stuff now, and he's amazing talent.
Oh, 100%.
I mean,
Traveling Wilburys did some cool stuff.
Yeah, I think he might have been the best songwriter of the four of them.
It's a pretty unpopular opinion, but one I concur with. I'm not a huge Beatles fan per se. I appreciate what they did. I just don't really. I've honestly never really sat down and dug through their catalog either, like I probably owe them to do. which I should. There's really no excuse not to listen to any music you want to now. I mean, I have Apple Music, like pretty much think of it and it's there. What a terrible time we live in.
Yeah, Spotify can just get whole albums. It's like when I listened to when we did Red-Headed Stranger, I just pulled up Red-Headed Stranger on Spotify and
There was. Absolutely. Remember back in the day? Like we'd have to wait to the cassette to come in or like
or wait
CD
with your hand over record
and come on the radio.
Yeah.
America Top 40. Hi, I'm Casey Kasem and America's Top 40 coming in. And you're like, oh, here it comes. Yeah, you had to hit the 3 buttons. Yeah, or the 2. Yeah, sweet Lord. Dad, I'm trying to record music. Yeah. And then I got really uppity. I recorded like a whole VHS tape of music videos. See, back in the day, MTV played music videos and shit. And then we had the Canadian channel, Much Music, on satellite as well. So you'd have the video countdowns every day. You had the Friday night video, you had video fights. You had so yeah, we had 6 hours of music videos, and we had yellow paper with the timestamp on the VHS and when videos were. So you're like, let's watch Poison. Okay. There we are. Yeah. So that was our early form of DBR.
What was the MTV Metal show that came on late at night with Kennedy and that?
Headbangers Ball.
Headbangers Ball. One of my favorite. Kurt Lawler, Headbangers Ball, and Downtown Julie Brown.
Downtown Julie Brown. It's like midnight or some shit, wasn't it? It was crazy. Yeah. Yeah. The MTV Video Countdown, which led to all kinds of other crap. But yeah, every week was. Yeah, they retired Motley Crue, Home Sweet Home from the Video Countdown as all-time #1. Like it was just like permanently #1. Like forever. It was so cool. Yeah. So look at Joel. He's like, I don't even understand what words you guys are saying. Like they don't even make any sense. Like, what's a VCR?
I've heard of Helter Skelter. Is that what it means? I would have guessed Helter Skelter was like a genre of like a sick and twisted alternate reality.
Everything's all helter skelter, kind of like turned upside down, crazy. Thanks for bringing us back to the word too, Joel. We were way off on Headbangers Ball. So
I thought you were talking about Helter Skelter.
We started there. And then we went way down the rabbit hole. Helter Skelter from Merriam-Webster, undue haste, confusion, or disorder, or in a haphazard manner. So chaos. Yeah. Undue haste, confusion, or disorder. I like that. Turmoil. British, a spiral slide around a tower at an amusement park. The Brits. Freaking maniacs.
I would say
it's like crazy, chaotic.
The scene in the end of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood where Brad Pitt beams the girl with the chicken soup can. That was Helter Skelter.
It was pretty Helter Skelter, man. God, I've only seen that movie once, and to do any Tarantino justice, it needs to be at least 3 times in my experience.
It just that one just takes so much mental work. I just like you got to work up to it. You got to set the timer aside. You got to just yeah.
So, question for you then. Okay, when Brad Pitt's up fixing the antenna, and then they flash to him kicking Bruce Lee's ass, is that a dream or real, or do you know? Or did you think about it yet?
I think it's real.
Okay.
Well, I think it's real.
All right.
I think it was actually based on a real guy.
I think that was true as well. I think in the movie, I'd seen both points of view of like, he was just like daydreaming while he's putting up the antenna. But I think it was real also because the way Zobel kicks his last ass later on. The guy that got to play Bruce Lee did a great job, though.
Joe Rogan was all heard about that scene.
Really?
Yeah. He took it pretty personally.
Well, it wasn't like they kicked the jiu-jitsu guy's ass. They kicked Bruce Lee's ass. I don't know. Anyway.
Do you hear that? Did anybody listen to that new episode of Rogan with Dave Smith?
Not all of it. No.
It's one of my favorite podcast episodes I've ever listened to.
Was he
Good
was
stuff.
when it was going off about COVID stuff the whole time?
It talked about COVID for a little bit, but not. It's one. It made the news a lot
Yeah.
this week because Rogan said he wouldn't advise a healthy 21-year-old to get the vaccine.
Mm-hmm.
It's like no, not for you. You'll be fine.
That's so like, you know, like somebody else said, like, okay, so why can't, you know, Bill Gates can talk about it, but Joe Rogan can't? Like, what's the difference? Yeah, that's what grinds my gears.
Well, it's ridiculous. Like they'll be like, the criticism towards him is like he's not a doctor. He shouldn't be talking about medical things. Like bullshit. Like he's not an economist either, but he talks about the economy. Like,
Dude,
nobody ever
whenever you
holds
have,
people accountable, like journalists. They don't hold them accountable for giving their opinions on economic
everything,
factors.
it's completely jacked up at all
like
times.
there's experts in that too. Like you guys can shut up about that then, because you don't know what
That's
you're
the whole
talking
point about, like, if you want to talk about medicine in particular, like when you go visit your doctor, like they make suggestions about things you might want to do or that you can talk about and mull over. And like, there's never like they can always give you an order. You can still tell them to go pound sand, but like it has to be presented in a manner that you can sit there and work through it in your mind and be like, yeah, that makes sense. Or I disagree, doc. Like that's the whole point.
Yeah, in fact, you should have an opinion on your own health because you have a
100%.
body. You have a body. Like this should be something everybody should be somewhat informed about,
There's
and
a
not
reason.
defer every decision to the CDC.
No, and there's a long standing tradition. I think I remember public health messages like get a second opinion. Remember, like there's a whole ad campaign about that a long time ago. Like get a second opinion, i.e., don't trust what the first doctor tells you. Go get a second opinion on anything. Like that was an actual public service announcement. Why not now? Like I want a second opinion. I want my opinion. Like you're not the one living in here. It's me. So why not? That's the whole point. Like it should be everybody can talk about it if they want to. It affects everybody. So yeah, I know there's a big brouhaha about Rogan steps into anti-vax camp. Like, there's 1,000 ways to put that. Scott Adams was just talking about it on his podcast, which I truly love. And he's like, dude, there's a whole bunch of other ways to say what he said. Like that's not accurately depicting what Rogan was talking about. So, and again, it's his opinion. Like, relax. So
Tell you what, when I get back to Pendleton, I'm going for that J&J vaccine though.
Good man.
Yeah.
Even though you've had the Rona twice now.
Yeah, but I don't want to be the one guy in America that's had it 3 times.
Might be interesting. Yeah. What were we saying, Bradbury?
Oh, Joe Rogan calls himself a meathead, but I'm blown away by the guilt trips I'm getting laid on for not doing the vaccine. So.
Oh yeah, I ditto.
They're like, why didn't you get it? I'm like, because I'm perfectly healthy and I have really good genetics.
Yeah. Dude, I'm not asking you personal medical questions. Why don't you get out of mine? Yeah, it's really funny. At work, we'll be talking about it, and I never say a word. I don't say it's bullshit. I don't say hurrah. I just let people talk about it because I don't care. It's like it's a personal choice, really, between myself and my medical professional. That's it. It's nobody else's business at all. Like everything else I do with my doctor. If I want to tell you about it, I will. But that's where it stops, man.
I like to think that after I get it, I will. I get those questions too. Are you getting the vaccine or did you get it? And when they ask me, even after I've gotten it, I'd be like, it's none of your fucking business.
Absolutely right. Maybe I got it 3 months ago. I'm a veteran living in Florida. I have great access. It's nobody's damn business at all. I'll tell you that.
Oh, you want to see my papers in order to hang out with me?
Yeah, go pound sand. Like,
go pound
I'm
sand.
surprised they're not chasing you down trying to give you a vaccine. It sounds like they're having a hard time pushing it in Florida.
Dude, yeah. Didn't I send that to you guys? I was getting like alerts on my phone like there was a tornado coming or something, like we've got open spots for vaccine. I'm like, and it's gonna stay that way. Like, I don't know what your problem is. Like, leave me alone. Yeah, it's waiting for the next thing to come along that people can focus on, because it's the most ridiculous thing ever. Like, if you want to get it, I don't care. That's your business. I still don't know why the government's providing it at all. That makes no sense to me at all.
I was looking at the Mayo.
One of you guys go ahead and talk.
Go ahead,
Right.
Richard.
I was just gonna say, even Scott Adams said a couple of days ago that he thinks that we've hit the wall of people that are going to get vaccinated. Like the rest of the, I don't know how many people. I think it's still like 80 million people that is not going to happen.
Oh, at least, yeah, for sure.
So more than about 1/3 of the population.
Minimum, yeah. What were we saying, Joel?
No, I was looking at like the numbers in Umatilla County, which are particularly low. I think like 25% vaccinated or something. Like I find that a little disappointing in that. Like, I think you need bigger numbers than that. I'm worried about Roundup, selfishly. I think if more people were to get it, Roundup would have a better shot of being a bigger event. I don't know. When I get there, I'll go through and get it. It seems easier there too, for sure, because here you have to like find a place that's giving them out, which isn't very close, and then you just show up and you don't get to make it. You don't get a choice of which version to get. Oh, I remember what I was going to say. I was looking at I don't know for sure if I have or had COVID for the second time. I'm kind of like thinking maybe I do have like those long haul COVID symptoms. You heard about those people that just have ongoing issues.
Flares back up, so to speak.
Yeah. So I looked it up on the internet. I was looking at the Mayo Clinic website and long-term effects. And they had a section about the brain, because it like definitely have like a foggy brain, like short-term memory loss and stuff like that. One of them was there's a long-term risk of developing ALS and Alzheimer's. I was like, holy fuck, how do they know that? One. And number two is like, I've read about some of the skeptics of the vaccine about what the protein could potentially do with creating a prion disease, and which could lead to Alzheimer's and creates the same sort of protein plaques or whatever. I mean, put on a conspiracy theory hat that maybe they know that to be sort of true, so they can just say get ahead of that risk. Be like, oh, that's a risk of COVID itself and not the vaccine. But that's a complete conspiracy theory.
Which you're allowed to
Which
have.
I don't even believe. I don't even believe that. But
I'm still figuring out after 18 months how the hell they could figure out it's going to give you ALS in the future.
Yeah, exactly.
What data tell you that?
None.
Yeah, what do they know that they just aren't telling?
Well, yeah.
people?
So like, okay, that's naturally occurring in our population already. So if you never had COVID or never had the vaccine, people already had that before for some unknown reason. So, all this technology, when they built the vaccine, it's based on things we already know about the genes. So there's probably a really similar mode of action or something that's a lot of shared data, if you will, between those two things. So probably ups the odds, I'm guessing. That's one way to look at it. If you want to look at it the non-black helicopter way, is like they've looked at ALS and they've looked at Alzheimer's and they see what conditions lead to that and what the genome looks like when that happens. And like what this is built on is pretty close. So we could definitely cross over and end up there. It's it doesn't add up for this kid.
One thing I watched, I don't know if you guys watched Biden's State of the Union last night, but
I did not know.
I really liked his idea of creating. He talked about DARPA, and he wants his idea is to create a similar type program for medical research. I think that's a very logical idea. Like, imagine if you properly fund something like that, they just dedicate all their time to coming up with breakthrough ideas.
I fully support that. Maybe they fix healthcare first before they take on advanced diseases. They can't even fix the ones that are common to everybody.
I don't know. I don't know. Attack some
I
of
don't
these big things.
I think we might differ. I don't think the government can solve any problems. I mean, look
No.
at SpaceX. How much it's advanced. NASA was completely defunct until Elon Musk came along, doing
Yeah,
nothing.
Yeah, now they're hiring
militarily,
SpaceX to
right?
do shit. Yeah.
But militarily, we've accomplished a lot with developing
Private
advanced
companies-
weapons and
Yeah,
stuff.
but that's
right?
yeah, exactly. Private companies are being contracted by the military to develop and build all this cool shit. Like,
Yeah,
but
replicate it. You could do that with health. You could
I think the
contract
government
with.
should have less. I think the government should do far, far less.
I would concur. Yeah, that's why I keep asking, like, why is the government involved in this vaccine? Like, I don't have.
Well-
I mean, with the development, if they want to help move some of the roadblocks out of the way, or advance this or that, or pull resources, that's great. I still don't know why they're just handing it out. Like, that's weird. Okay, can you think of like anything else like that you just get that
Anytime the
way?
government's
You'll spend your whole life pushing back against wanting smaller government and spend less money, but we all
That's
know
fine.
that's never going to happen.
Think
Never
how
gonna
much
happen.
worse it'd be if we
So
weren't.
as long as they're spending money, this is a pretty decent thing to spend it on instead of like critical race theory in our public school system.
Well, I can't argue that for a second, but that's where it gets when we keep pouring money into something from the government. We end up with those things you just mentioned. So eventually, it might start out great with the DARPA for the medical, but guess what? That's going to be fucked up in about 2 years, no doubt about it. Somebody's going to be getting their fingers in it and hosing it, man. We've seen it happen too many damn times already. Like, that's the whole point about this. It's like there's nothing new here, man. It happens every single time. Like, you never go backwards, like you said. Like, once you spend that money, like, it ain't going back. And that's the worst part about it all. It's not going back. And like, it's just, it hasn't worked. That's the other problem. It's like, what do you got? You got nothing. You got a broke ass dick system.
Especially education. We spend way too much money on education.
Yeah.
I think we should get rid of public schools. Just give everybody some money, help them educate their own kids. Get rid of them. It's a waste.
It's very inefficient, extremely corrupt, very defunct. And I know a lot of people that are teachers. We're looking at a substitute teacher right now on the screen with us, like, it's a jacked up system, man. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Again, what are they doing in that space? Like, literally, like, my favorite example, it's been pounded to death, but like the post office, you literally have a monopoly that everybody relied on, like, heavily. Everybody sent letters and mail and everything all the time. And guess what? They still couldn't make money on it. Like, how sad is that? Does that tell you anything about anything else that they could ever do? Like,
yeah. Meanwhile,
right
Amazon is one of the biggest companies in the world.
FedEx, UPS, Amazon. Yeah. They go up against the monopoly and absolutely snot slobber them. Like, think about that.
Yeah.
It's not their place,
They
man.
just
It's not their place.
Maybe that's a next area that's ripe for disruption is public education. Nothing's stopping
No
people
doubt
from
about
taking
it.
their
Like,
kids
the
out
thing
of
though is,
it,
like, you can't, like, when people try to do vouchers to go to a public school, everybody loses their goddamn mind. Like,
Yeah.
that's what it's
I
about.
think-
Like, hey, here's the money we'd spend on you. Go somewhere else and get an education. Everybody turns upside down.
What I think is amazing is that you can't create your own curriculum.
Yeah. What, at a private school, you have to, is there some, what's the reins on that,
No,
Richard?
public school. So there's these huge. So this is what I understand about the public school. They pay thousands and thousands of dollars to get curriculum that's already like pre-made. It's just it's crazy. When I took on the English class, I looked at all that stuff. I was like, nope, and I just made my own.
Yeah.
I mean, really, it all goes back to Plato and the Socratic method. It's just it's proven over and over again to be the best type of education.
Mhm.
And people have the capacity to learn. You just have to give them the materials to do it. And
100%.
I don't think it takes much more than a book and a calculator. So
I totally agree. Yeah, I think
now we got all these, have so many amazing technologies, podcasts, online
YouTube, yeah.
classrooms, yeah, YouTube, books. There's so many supplemental things, but if a teacher doesn't come out of school and can't create their own curriculum, that to me sends that the education system is broken, because
Mhm.
that is one thing you should learn as a teacher, is how to create curriculum for your students. It shouldn't be in a box, because each situation, each region that you're in, everybody's going to learn a little bit differently, and
Well,
different
yeah, I
things
think
are
even
gonna
have
work.
different resources, if nothing else. You can have like different numbers of kids per classroom, like a different technology in your classroom. There's a lot of different variables that you need to account for. Um, yeah, so why have this? I never even thought about that, but yeah, you got this out of the box. That doesn't make any sense at all.
I mean, if you ever listen, if you ever read any of the Plato books, he draws in the dirt with a stick.
Hmm.
I mean, that's basically, if you can't get a concept, what is it? Who says it? I mean, it's the simplest, Occam's razor, the simplest solution. I mean, I think it's way overcomplicated.
Hmm.
And yeah, anyways.
Simple as
And I
best.
just have to, why have my podium? I was like, anytime a government is pushing something like this vaccine so hard on a population,
Hmm.
you have to, and I'm gonna say something to piss my mom off, but you have to stand back and you have to say, what in the fuck is going on?
Hmm.
If they're
Correct.
so desperate for you to get that vaccine, then you got to use your fucking head and say, there is something not right about this situation, because every point in history, when something's been pushed on a population this much, something's fucked up. And
Hmm.
the only time I can think of anything that would make it different is polio. And that vaccine didn't take a year, 6 months to create. It took generations to
Hmm.
create. And it was desperately needed.
People were
This was
clamoring
not,
for it. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Because once have you heard this statement? We have to get everybody vaccinated so you can get back to work and be productive and start living your life. You never hear the back to work part. You just talk about maybe live your life. But even now, it's all these weird restrictions, and you still can't and the theatrical idiocy of people on TV who have been tested, who have been vaccinated, and yet they still wear a mask and they still 6 feet apart from each other is ludicrous.
This crossed over from medical to complete control
Mhm.
months ago.
Oh yeah.
And it's now just a shit show. And the fact that other Americans are going around ratting other Americans out and making them feel guilty because they're not taking a fucking vaccine that's being pushed on them. Nancy Reagan, be ashamed. Just say no.
Just say no. Thank you, Richard. Absolutely.
Sorry, that's my rant. I'm
It's a
sorry.
good one though. I mean, like we talked a couple
We
weeks
just
ago
got
about.
canceled.
Thank you. Yeah, whatever. What are you gonna? We already got our next sponsorship check. They can pound sand. No, just kidding. But we talked about how much
I'll
they have
save
to.
us by not being anti-vax. I'll get it. No,
That's
I'll
fine. I
save
mean,
the
it's not,
podcast.
why is it anti-vax?
Well,
You're pro-vax?
sorry.
That's what I think. So whatever. But if you
Right.
want it,
I don't
more
mean to use
power,
that word.
man. Like, go ahead. That's your choice. I couldn't be happier for you. You're gonna feel safe. You're gonna be happy. I salute you. But I was just fine before. I'll be just fine after. That's my risk. That's my assessment. When you have to put these placating yeehaw commercials that come on the radio and TV about, hey, y'all, you know, we all got to do our part. We got to get our vaccine and we got to stay 6 feet apart and we got to blah. It literally boils my blood. Like, that's the worst thing for my fucking health. 100% right there is hearing that bullshit commercial. Because A, they're still talking about this 6 foot thing, which comes from nowhere. We've proven several times over already that doesn't mean anything. B, again, it's my choice. And C, like Richard said, when it's constantly crammed at you from every single angle, my gut just says, just hold on a minute. Just wait, let it ride for a while. Let's just let it roll, because I don't see the benefit. The benefit does not outweigh the risk in my mind. I might be completely wrong, and that's on me, but that's how I see it. And I just don't buy it. That dog don't hunt for me. That's
The
me.
other explanation could potentially be that they know something that we don't, that they're just not sharing with us.
They probably do. They probably know that this was actually manufactured in China and
Yeah.
got out of a lab. Now, if you say that, and say, look, this shit has fucked up your DNA. You have to take this or you're going to grow a third arm or whatever. Say it, admit it, get it out there. But they won't ever do that either, because we all know that's where it came from. Okay. Like this, I'm pretty sure this was manufactured. Like the way it
Came
impacts
from
some
that lab.
people,
What were they doing in
it
that
doesn't
lab?
others.
Level with
It's
us.
obvious, you know, like quit bullshitting us. Like admit it. If you're honest with me, then I'll think about it. But until then, you know, I've had a pretty good time already. So we'll see what happens. But it just doesn't add up. Like my spidey senses are up. And so
Well, the
I'm
fact
gonna
that they
wait.
sent another Chinese lab to audit the lab that the virus was at,
Yeah.
or in the town that the virus was in, that's super trustworthy. The People's Republic of China, yeah, I trust them.
Oh, for eons. Yeah. They're all
Yeah.
about open and freedom and keeping the people informed. And yeah, they never do anything that
They're
harms
not killing
people.
Uyghurs.
Not at all. They love everybody there. What are you worried about? It's the most free country in the world. We should all move there. Oh, wait. I'm sorry.
It's not genocide if you just take their livers.
Sorry. Apparently, we've accidentally stumbled into what grinds our gears, too, brought to you by our good friends at B&K Auto Salvage. So, first time we've ever had to talk about what we're doing afterwards, but I think that's where we're at. But I think it's good discussion, though. I think this is the whole point of why I think we started talking about this stuff officially on the air, so to speak. And it's conversation that we need to be able to have as a country again, and not just be like, just because you see something different than I do, either one of us is evil or stupid. No, like there's a whole reason, like we have a bicameral system. Like it's been in our blood since day one that we're going to have opposite opinions, kids. At some point, it got twisted around where if you don't see things just like me, then obviously you're some kind of ist or you're evil or dumb. And it's like, it doesn't have to be any of those. Actually, we just have a different opinion. Like we've all probably to one degree either had a roommate, been in a relationship, or just hung out with one person on a road trip. And guess what? After so long, you just don't see eye to eye. That doesn't mean you're both good people or you don't like each other. You just disagree sometimes. That's life. So I think, you know, we were having a conversation earlier today, pretty heated text messages back and forth about some stuff. And I'm like,
well, that's my grind my gears.
Oh yeah, and we'll jump right into that too, because I think it was a great topic, but it was just like it caught me out of left field. And I was like, I never even thought about that. Didn't really give a shit, but it means a lot to some people. So I was like,
oh, is this the elephant one?
Correct. Yes. So we're going to officially jump into the next segment of what grinds my gears. Go ahead.
I invested 45 minutes of my day into this to try and help Joel out, but I was unsuccessful. But I'll just try it this time tonight.
Okay, let's try. Well, let me finish giving our good friends some props, and then we'll jump right back into it. So we've already been in like the pickup's been out front warming up. We've been grinding a little bit of gears, but now we're jumping into the official segment that we actually talked about earlier today. Again, our good friends at B&K bring this section about what grinds our gears, and it's when we have the specific moments of like, damn it, this just really pisses me off, so to speak. So Joel's taking the lead on this official segment of Grinds My Gears from some earlier conversation. So Joel, Richard, boys, let's lay into her.
Yeah, so I come across this article today, and it's about, and help me out with the name. I think his name's Wayne LaPierre.
Wayne LaPierre, yes.
Oh.
He's the head of the NRA, right?
For the moment, yeah.
Barely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Way before this shit, yeah.
So, and him and his wife, several years ago, they took a trip to Africa, a hunting trip to Africa, to Botswana, to go elephant hunting. And every once in a while, you see these rich people. Like one of the Trump kids did this too. He went to Africa and shot a fucking rhino or something. So there's this picture of LaPierre's wife holding up a severed elephant tail, smiling like a fucking bitch. The article mentions that she's there with guides, and they guide her to an elephant, and she takes her shot, critically injures it, but doesn't kill it. They drive up on it. I think she even takes another shot, still doesn't kill it, and then I think ultimately the guide had to put it down. It just pisses me off that these people go over to Africa and kill large game like elephants or rhinos or hippos or whatever, or giraffes. And it makes me so angry that my thinking is that it should be legal to hunt humans who are out hunting animals like that. I think that would be neat. I might contribute to that. I might go hunt the human that's trying to kill the elephant. I would feel better, and I can confidently say this, I would feel better about killing a human being that's trying to kill an elephant than killing an elephant itself. Now, I don't know if I would extend that to like elk and deer, but that might be kind of fun too. I mean, if you're going to go out there with your high-powered rifle and all the technology and that makes it super easy to go kill an animal, like generally I don't really care enough to make a big deal out of hunting because people are going to do whatever they want to do. But I would personally never shoot an animal like that. But I think if you're willing to shoot an animal like that, why are you so afraid of somebody hunting you in return? Let's make it a little bit more fun, make it fair. Because you don't face any harm whatsoever. You don't face any danger going out there hunting from the animal. You're going to be safe. You got a guide or something with you. Like, let me hide in the bushes and search you out, see how you like it. I think this is especially true for something smart and intelligent like an elephant, maybe more than a deer, but point remains. What do you guys think of this?
I got a couple thoughts. Richard, do you want to go first? Or, go ahead, Richard. You said
there's economics about this. So for generations, we've gone on Africa's ass to stop the poachers, to stop them killing the gorillas, to stop them killing all the stuff in the reserves. We spent billions of dollars into Africa to stop people from hunting these endangered species in Africa. What they came up with was the solution to have these guided hunts where people from the United States with big money come in and they support these conservation programs. So those guys paid probably $300,000 to go shoot an old elephant that was going to die anyways. That all went to the reserve so that they could protect the rest of the elephants from poachers. So every time the United States gets over there and has a big fit, the poor Africans are going, you've been on our ass to fix our poaching problem for all these years. We found a solution so we can generate some revenue, so we can stop the poachers in these reserves. And now every time some celebrity takes a shot of them killing an animal that they paid buku bucks to kill, then you jump on our ass because we're not doing the right thing. Meanwhile, they've created these amazing reserves all over Africa. They've funded entire villages from these hunts and from all this safari stuff. So basically, we're being hypocritical because we have been on Africa's ass. The society, first world societies in general, not just the United States, have been dogging them for generations to fix the poaching problem. Well, they fixed the poaching problem, and now we don't like the way that they fixed it. So if I'm Africa, I'd just be saying, F off. We don't need your help.
Well, I don't think anybody's. I'm not blaming Africa. I'm blaming Westerners even more by taking advantage of a impoverished nation in Africa, whose only real resource is a wild animal. And we're like, well, they're poor. We can just go over there and we'll give them money just to go kill their one resource.
These animals are all selected because they're aged or they have some These are not healthy animals. The healthy animals are protected. These are all older animals
how do you know that? I didn't know that, but how do you know that?
You wouldn't see it on the news, but there's scads and scads of podcasts and articles and stuff all about it. Every time one of these people gets shot, there's a bunch of people that come out and say, this is all very organized. So
And well funded.
actual
Yeah.
monsters in this world that are killing rhinos, cutting their horns off. But the people that you see blasted all over CNN and all over the internet, they paid 60 to upwards to $500,000 to go kill that. And it was selected by the people that run the game park so that they could do it. So what they're doing is they're paying to protect the rest of the animals. So meanwhile, we're chastising them and we're telling the Africans, you still haven't got it right. They're protecting more animals than they ever have in the history of Africa.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're just throwing them under the bus because they didn't do it like we wanted them to do it.
Because they're still allowing it. But yeah, like there's about 40 different veins on this highway, and I'll stick on Richard's point for a minute too. Like, yeah, they're the way we do it in the States is similar to what they do over there. Like, we have limits that you're supposed to go hunt for management purposes most of the time. Like, they've deemed like this is the population for this game management unit. If you go to the Oregon map and go Oregon Department of Fish and Wildlife, GMU, or Game Management Unit, like, they've broken up the state. I think it's 13 or maybe 15. I don't remember from research. These game management units where they have a pretty good idea of the number of deer, number of elk, etc. They know what the supposed carrying capacity is of those units, and that's how they issue tags, except for archery. But for like rifle season, they do a draw. Like, there's so many tags out there, and you put in for it and you get your draw. Now, they set that level supposedly based on keeping that sort of in balance. It's exactly what they're doing on the African safari side. They're saying, like, we have these number of animals. There's turnover every year, i.e., some are going to die because they get old. New ones are born. This reserve can only really hold, like this reserve in particular, say it's 50,000 acres, it can hold 1,000 elephants. So if you got 1,000 elephants, you probably got roughly 500 males and females or thereabouts. So they're reproducing, whatever. They know, given our management system, we can hunt the 5 oldest elephants every year and keep things in balance. So these are the ones we're going to put up for hunts. So that's what they do. Say, hey, we got 5 elephants this year. And so they charge people, whatever, 100 grand or 200 grand or whatever. And so, yeah, obviously you have guards or guides because you want to get the right elephant. And people get their ass kicked by elephants too, because they'll charge them and stomp them into powder. The other side of this whole thing is more where you're coming from, I think, originally. And it's just the fact that you don't agree that those animals should be killed for sport or for food or for whatever. And so that brings me to my other question of, like, really then, where do you draw the line in the spectrum of, like, you can go hunt deer or elk, that may be okay, but not maybe if it's exotic or lions or whatever, because, like, there's always danger when you're out hunting this. Like, even if it's deer, like, I might get attacked by a cougar, I might fucking fall off the mountain, I might roll my ankle. Like, when you go safari time, like, that whole world is trying to kill you. So yeah, you're asking for it because you're out there. But I think it really boils down to the personal opinion of, like, I agree with hunting for that or I do not. And then Richard brought up the phenomenal point of, like, they're harnessing that as both management and a way to fund all the preservation of everything else. And I'm really familiar with Oregon because I've been on committees and worked with the wildlife department a lot and all those things. Like, a lot, we used to vote, like, where the funds from hunting and fishing licenses, they take that money that goes into management and programs, so it's there for the next time, because it's one of the best renewable resources we have. So it's just a different scale over there with, and people over there want to come over here and shoot an elk, or like Hart Mountain, you put in for a bighorn, like, that's a once in a lifetime deal. Like, you have to build up points. There's so many every year, like 5 people or whatever get to go hunt there. So it really boils down to if your preference about, I believe that animal can be hunted versus not. And then the phenomenal management they're doing about building these reserves. And really, the poaching used to be just insane, like for elephants for the ivory and, rhinos for the horns and everything else. And that's certainly still not completely eliminated, but with the resources they've been able to put into it, it's substantially lower than it ever has been. So it's
Yeah,
I guess that's the 2 formats I looked at it in.
The sustainability stuff, and yeah, I didn't think about that. I also don't necessarily believe that, take that at face value. I mean, it'd be very easy to make that claim, like, oh yeah, this is all these are old animals, they're going to die anyway. We're not going to take your $500,000 to kill one of our healthy elephants. Like, I don't really believe you on that. Maybe that's true. I don't know.
That's supply and demand, dude. Like, hey, you're out of tags this year, so you got to come back next year. Or if it's up for bid, a lot of times they do it by bid. So
I just don't understand how somebody could go do that.
Well, let me ask you a question
about it.
Have you
and then completely reject the idea that somebody shouldn't be allowed to hunt you?
Because just because I have a steak doesn't mean I want to carve a fucking pot roast off your ass.
What?
Because I eat meat doesn't mean I want to go eat people too. That's the same equation in my mind. Like, just because I want to go shoot an animal doesn't mean I want to go shoot a human. Like, I want to eat a steak, but I'm not going to carve you up.
You don't want to. You don't want to shoot a human, but you'll shoot an animal. Yeah. Maybe I would be willing to shoot a human, but I'm not willing to shoot an animal.
There's
a market for both of us.
Absolutely. You figure out a way to make that legal, you probably have a good profit margin on your hands. Yeah.
Botswana should make that legal. They could make some more money.
I mean, we're still getting over like prostitution being legal, but still, I think we can get human hunting on the list.
We'd just be hunting like really old people anyway.
Maybe so.
They're about dead anyway.
Could be.
What's the big deal?
If they want to volunteer for that,
that Wayne LaPierre is like 80
if you want to
old.
help fund elderly health care by doing that, maybe that's an option. Richard, he's like, you did not just go there.
As far as like elk hunting and deer hunting, like the rifles are cheating.
No, they're not.
Use a bow.
I've done both. Neither one of them is easy. Don't get me like. Let me ask you a question, Joel. You don't have to answer if you don't want to, but have you ever gone hunting, like deer hunting or elk hunting?
Why would I do that? I don't want to. I would not be comfortable killing an animal. Yeah.
One of the most common things, especially when your first 2 or 3 rounds of hunting, is called buck fever, elk fever, whatever. Dude, I've seen people who are pretty good shots stand there with the deer in their sights and literally jack all their shells on the ground and never pull the trigger because that psychological impact, or like completely miss their ass. Like, having the rifle doesn't necessarily make it easier. Don't get me wrong. I love to bow hunt too. Don't get me wrong, but like,
I would go hunting. I'd miss on purpose to scare it off so nobody would shoot it.
Here's my question. Do you believe that you're part of the animal kingdom?
Could be. He is a beaver. Yeah.
So,
well, sort of. Yeah. I mean, technically, but I believe I am more capable than an animal. Yeah.
I have this theory that we're actively severing ourselves from other animals.
Well, we're smarter than that.
Are we?
Yeah. You think we are? What do you base that on?
Well, I'm in a room right now, talking to you on an iPad.
Yeah. How many wolves live places? They talk back and forth. Go ahead, Richard.
How many coyote kids are on meth?
Yeah, exactly. Seriously. Great T-shirt, by the way. I think we need to start that.
How many kids?
I mean, coyote kids, young coyotes, little coyotes, wolves, bears. Yeah.
Oh,
might eat some peyote every once in a while, but yeah.
No, we're because we have intelligent.
We have the grizzly bear. The grizzly bear doesn't have to go to the grocery store to feed itself.
But we know that an animal like elephants have like emotions. They suffer loss and mournful over their lost
Dumbo
brethren.
Let's approach this from a different angle. You're on Naked and Afraid. You got your little stick, and in this Naked and Afraid,
it's not so little, but I got you. Yeah.
Anyways, and you're in Yellowstone. You're besieged by coyotes, wolves, cougars, grizzlies. And you're out there naked. There's snow. And how smart are you? There's nobody there to help you. You can't use any modern conveniences. Who wins in the end? Who gets you? Either the elements are going to get you, the wolves are going to get you, a bear or a cougar is going to get you. We have this weird sense of dominance that
Superiority.
goes way beyond. We're actively severing ourselves from our animal kingdom ties. Like, we don't want to fix the world. We want to get on Elon Musk's SpaceX and we want to fly to the next world to screw it up. I think that the more that we disconnect from our animal partners, our animal counterparts, the more unhealthy we get.
Mhm.
And the hunting, the eating, you're not going to survive in Yellowstone if you're a vegetarian or a vegan. You're just not. You'll be dead within 6 months if the animals in the park don't kill you first. We're not that much better.
No.
We have a lot of technology that does that, but the reason I think that our society and we as humans, our life expectancy is going down is because we're actively severing ourselves from what ties us and gives us harmony to the world.
And Joel, I got a question for you too. We talk about
life expectancy went up with the
No,
advent
it's going down.
of agriculture.
yeah, but that's been a long time ago.
In the last 10 years, the human life expectancy in first world countries has been going down.
Oh, well. I don't know if I tie
Joel,
that to our hunting. Okay.
That's our diet. That's a big part of it. I just questioned about the emotion of the elephant. Perhaps everything that's living, I think, has emotions, all the way to plants. I think, like, you can't tell me, like, a carrot is alive. It's in the ground. It's growing.
Yes.
Every
That's a
day.
great point.
It gets better. Yeah, we have no problem yarding it out of the ground and letting it it actually suffocates in front of our eyes, and then we eat it. Like, you can't tell me that a carrot doesn't have feelings, man, or hurt or move.
Yes,
plants respond to music.
Doesn't have a central nervous system and a brain. But even in the cases of like fishes, some of them you wouldn't. I would say, like, I know a dolphin isn't a fish, but
I'll take a salmon or a trout.
like a dolphin is a lot more intelligent than a salmon. A salmon
get
is
back
just
to where it was born, man. That's pretty
operating
cool.
on a salmon. Most fishes just operate on instinct. So I would be like, yeah, fine, kill them. That's fine, eat them. And I would say that's even true of, like, livestock and deer and stuff. But something large like an elephant is fairly intelligent.
Okay.
I think there's a difference. I don't know what it is. But.
No, salmon gets all. That was my point. Salmon goes all the way to the ocean and comes back to the exact spot.
Ocean,
yeah.
Spend 7 years there and then find the exact place that it was born.
Instinct.
That's not instinct. No.
Yes,
like, I couldn't do that. Like
I think it's the paradigm in which you're framing intelligence.
Yes, that's part of it. That's why I asked
we have a very
emotional intelligence.
Yeah, like a deer has that for sure. Like a badger has that. Like,
we used to think the world was the center of the universe. That's how naive we were. We thought the entire universe rotated around the world. We are basically doing the same thing in the animal kingdom. We think that the entire animal kingdom rotates around us.
Yeah.
It absolutely does not. So, like, we're not taking care of our soils. There is a huge mycelium network underneath where animals or where plants communicate back and forth and share nutrients and what to meet each other's needs. So if one plant goes a particular type of nutrient, it can communicate with another plant and it can send that nutrient to that plant. It can grow towards water, it can grow away from water. It has this whole network with fungus and plants and the soils and the microbiome in the soils. We are literally destroying it because we have no frame of context as to what it is. And in turn, those plants are destroying us because they are not living in a successful way. So basically, the foods we're eating are becoming less nutritious. And the reason that's happening is because we are meddling with it. in things that we have no mental concept or framework to deal with. And we're just scratching the surface as to how important maintaining those balances in the soil are. So it's naive of us to think that we as Homo sapiens are the center of the animal kingdom, the plant and fauna kingdom. And we're just beginning to see how little of a role we play. And I honestly think the earth is trying to kill us as fast as it possibly can.
The hardest thing it could have done. Yeah. It has several times already, I'm pretty sure. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's an interesting concept, Joel. And I honestly had not thought about it till you brought it up. So I think again, that's the cool thing is if you don't want to go hunt them, you don't have to. If you want to try to start a petition and be able to hunt humans, then I'm all for helping you do that as well. I think it could be entertaining. So yeah, love these talks, man. Love these talks.
Which is why I chose.
I don't hunt either, so I'm in the same boat. The worst thing I do is fly fish.
My ear. Yeah. What was that, Joel?
Which is why the movie of the week is going to be Surviving the Game.
Surviving the Game.
Starring Ice-T.
Oh, yes. I love that movie.
There was another one of those with Jean-Claude Van Damme, though. I think it's probably even better.
There's a whole bunch of movies with that concept, I think. But
yeah, what was that one with Van Damme? Damn, that was a good movie. Remember that one?
Oh, yeah.
He was in New Orleans. They thought he was just all the veterans were going missing. Damn, what was that called? No, not Hard to Kill. Was it Hard to Kill?
Oh,
no, that's a Seagal movie.
Oh, Gary Busey's in Surviving the Game. Nice.
Yeah.
Rutger Hauer too. Oh, it's classic.
It's a good one. Yeah, I'm trying to think of the name of that stupid movie because that's some good evil guys in it too. That was my favorite part about it. Was the it wasn't no. This is awesome stuff. Missing in Action. No, he was in Missing. Do you know Jean-Claude Van Damme was in Missing in Action? I had no idea. Yeah. I did not know that. Yeah. Hard Target. Chance Boudreaux.
Yeah,
that's it, man. What was the bad guy's name? I got to get that bad guy's name.
I think that's when I think that might be the movie that got me off of Van Damme.
Really got out there, didn't it? Yeah. So anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to get sidetracked, Joel. Surviving the Game. Great one. I like it because I've not seen it in a long time. And I don't remember what happens. So in hearing who's in it, I appreciate that. Perfect. Awesome. A couple quick emails or mail. Read your mails. You all right, Richard? You're on mute. You're on mute, Bradbury. He must be farting or something. He knows he's on mute. Apparently. Yeah. Anyways. So Miss M in Oregon said, hey, Joel, I test drove a Bronco Sport. It sucks. Subaru is still way better option.
Okay.
Thought I'd pass that along. Jay in Oregon said, damn it, Joel, pick a rig already. So, so you can't rush perfection. Yeah. So I didn't have anything for buying stuff this week. I bought some stuff, but it wasn't really anything anybody would care about. So anybody have any suggestions for buying stuff?
How about a new suitcase?
Yeah, that's important. Did you get Briggs and Stratton? Briggs and Riley?
Is that a brand?
Yeah. If you don't know.
No, I think I just got a Samsonite.
Oh,
Samsonite. I
was way off. Yeah. No, when I first got my first traveling big boy job, I bought a Briggs and Riley carry-on. It's like the pinnacle of carry-ons. Yeah. Like
I need something big to throw all my clothes in, so I could, instead of mail. I've been mailing stuff across country. Like,
oh yeah,
fairly small things.
Richard's the king of that.
Small stuff in I don't know. It was probably 20 pounds of stuff, and I took it over to the place close by. $132 to ship that across
Yeah.
the country. Like, this is going to cost me $1,000 just to ship my stuff.
Your crap. Yeah.
Yeah.
It happens.
It's not even that valuable.
That's the funny part about it. Yeah. I think, yeah, they've gone up a little bit. Yeah. My first Briggs and Riley carry-on was over $500. Like, it's cool shit. Yeah. Like, oftentimes, anyways, yeah, that was my gift to myself. So buying stuff.
I hit peak efficiency when I would mail stuff to the laundromat that was dirty. They'd wash it, pack it up for me, and then I'd land, go to the laundromat, and get my clothes, and then go on about my next adventure. That's how good I am.
There ain't much better at the traveling type moving mobile unit one than Richard. Yeah, it's it's pretty impressive. Cool. Well, we're going to swing by. We're going to go ahead and wrap up with best thing of the week and get everybody back on their way. So, Joel, what do you got?
Nothing.
That's completely acceptable. Absolutely. It's just one of those weeks, man. Sometimes they're just going to happen. Yeah. Oh, I didn't expect that though, so I appreciate that. Richard, anything?
Oh, I appreciate Joel for taking strong stances and making the podcast very interesting. So
Absolutely.
I was overly harsh on you, Joel. I apologize. I do.
No. I think you presented something I mean, I had heard that before, but I forgot about it.
Yeah.
It makes sense, but I don't know if I believe it.
You don't have to like it, you know. Yeah.
Weather's good. Grass is finally growing just in the last couple of days, so that's awesome. That's probably the best part of my week.
Awesome. I like it. Yeah. Best thing of my week. I'm going to be sounding old man on you here. Got a new pressure washer. Been having some fun. Going to redo all my fences and my deck. So I'm gonna power wash and stain all that stuff, which has been pretty cool. And been knocking some good stuff over at work too, and having a lot of fun with that. So it's been pretty good all the way around between work and personal and everything else. Just having fun and enjoying the Rita. So all best things. And I really, really look forward to tonight too. I know we've postponed this and we were a little bit delayed, but I was excited to see everybody today and chat a bit. So you know, for all you listeners, I hope you enjoyed it too, but like, it's been really good for me. So I need the interaction. I need my Bradbury and my Joel, Mr. Rawls. So it's kind of the high point. Sad as that sounds.
Can't help but think about Rawls' comments on hunting. So.
Oh yeah, we'll have to fill him in, see what he thinks. Yeah, I think I think part of his cow stuff might be some new predators out amongst his area. I think perhaps, maybe. I don't know. So
this episode might triggered him.
It might have triggered him. How long have you been waiting to use that one, Richard?
I just gave it.
Almost makes it better. Yeah.
I feel like that's
beautiful.
an interesting angle of that actually. Like if I had a bunch of cows and there were wolves trying to get at them, I'd be more comfortable shooting the wolf in that situation. It's about shooting the thing that is attacking something that's helpless, which is what I could do. I just couldn't do it unprompted.
All I could think of as part of that conversation was that scene in the Leonardo DiCaprio movie where the bear gets him.
The Revenant. Yeah. We're not the top of the food chain in a lot of the parts of the world, so that's part of it. Sweet. Well, anybody else have anything for the good of the order? I don't like saying that. Reminds me of my meetings in college with Kevin Kahn. So if not, we're going to go ahead and wrap this episode up. Again, thanks to our good friends at B&K Auto Salvage and for Pendleton Mixer and Cigar for their continued support, love, and sponsorship of Intellectual Moment of the Week. Also, to all of our listeners, we appreciate the growing audience we're gathering, people sending in good comments, people liking what we're doing. Appreciate that. Keep the feedback coming. If you have comments, questions, if you have people you think we should talk to on FRX, please let us know. We've had some fun with those. We're going to continue to keep pumping those out. I got some cool people I got lined up I want to talk to as well. Richard's always got something going on. Joel, get a lot of good feedback on your time with JD. I think that was a great episode. So we're going to have the Mongolian Derby girls back at some point too to help there with their fundraising. So we'll continue to keep doing that. Keep the suggestions coming. Be safe when you're listening and driving down the road. I get a lot of feedback that people listen to this while they're driving, and oftentimes it almost end up in the ditch. So please be safe. But remember to like our podcast, share it when you can, and whatever platform you're listening on. That helps us do more for what we can. So we'll get the word out better. But until then, we'll let you all go and just keep on reaching, and we'll see you there.
Get vaccinated, not.